Hey everyone, it's January 22nd, and that means that if today is your birthday, you share with Colombian serial killer Daniel Camargo Barbosa, known as the sadist of Chancuito, who murdered at least 72 victims in the 1970s and 80s. And that is him right up there, and I apologize for my terrible Spanish pronunciation. Camargo was born in 1930, and after his mother died when he was a small child, his father married a woman who became an abusive stepmother, beating him and forcing him to wear girls' clothing to school as punishment. He was considered one of the smart kids at school, but dropped out to take a job when the family was struggling financially. His first brush with the law came in 1958, being arrested in Bogota for theft. At that time, he was in a relationship with a woman by whom he fathered 2 children. Their relationship was short-lived, however, and he soon became engaged to another woman named Esperanza, but broke it off when he found out that she was not a virgin. He convinced her that he would stay with her if she brought him virgin girls with whom he could have sex. She began to convince young women to come back to their apartment and drug them with sleeping pills, at which point Camargo would rape them. Their 5th victim reported the crime, and the pair were arrested and sent to prison in 1964. He was sentenced to 8 years behind bars, and upon his release he began hawking small televisions on the street, but he couldn't stay straight and committed murder for the first time. In 1973, he kidnapped and raped a 9-year-old girl and decided to kill her so she would be unable to notify the police. He left some televisions at the scene of the crime and was arrested when he went back to get them. Camargo was sentenced to 30 years in prison, being sent to an island facility known as the Colombian Alcatraz in 1977. In 1984, he escaped in a boat he made from debris, with authorities assuming he died at sea and telling the public that he had been eaten by sharks. Unfortunately for the citizens of Ecuador, he managed to float to their country and made his way to Guayaquil. Over the next 2 years, Camargo committed dozens of rapes and murders that police thought were the work of a gang. He would find young girls on the street, pretend to need their help in finding the location of a church, and show them a wad of cash offering a reward. Camargo then would take them to the woods as part of a shortcut where he would rape and strangle them, occasionally also stabbing them for good measure. He left their bodies in the woods where the local wildlife disposed of the remains. In 1986, he was arrested as he was walking back into town after murdering a young girl, carrying her bloody clothes and Dostoevsky's classic novel Crime and Punishment. Camargo confessed to killing 71 girls since his arrival in Ecuador and led the police to his favorite spots in the woods where he left their bodies. He said that he preferred young girls because they were virgins and because they cried. In 1989, he was sentenced to the maximum sentence allowed by law in Ecuador, 16 years in prison. Incidentally, he was sent to the same facility as Pedro Alonso Lopez, known as the Monster of the Andes, who had raped and killed nearly 300 girls. Scroll down to my video on October 8th to learn more about him. In 1994, Camargo was killed in prison by the cousin of one of his victims. There are some reports that he also killed 80 or more girls in Colombia before being caught the first time, but I've been unable to find any corroboration of that. If this is your birthday, hope you have a great day. Leave me a comment so I can wish you a happy birthday. If you know someone whose birthday it is today, send them this video so they can find out all about their birthday twin. And to Daniel Camargo Barbosa, I say, happy birthday, you bastard.